And welcome to another edition of the most consistent, prolific, and dedicated uploads in YouTube's history. This is the dynamic Sean's View Entertainment right here on YouTube.com. Make sure to like this video and subscribe with the latest backstage developments coming out of Monday Night Raw last night. According to various newsletters, dirt sheets, and websites, all day long, Sean's View Entertainment has been tracking down the information, and the link, the source, the proof, will be in the description of the video as always. Backstage news and notes from Raw. F4W Online notes that both Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn were not at last night's WWE Raw in Indianapolis, as they were working on Tough Enough in the Orlando area. While Triple H did not write last night's show, he was in charge and ran things. So what that tells me is, you know, if you're going to come on here and talk about how the show was bad, or it was mediocre, or it could have been a hell of a lot better, don't blame Triple H, because it seems like Vince McMahon and the creative team and the powers that be were still running the show, but Triple H was just there to make sure things were running smoothly. That's just my take and my opinion on things. And I felt, you know, Triple H probably, you know, production-wise, making sure everything went according to plan. Triple H just making sure that, you know, everything came together as it was meant to be and as it was supposed to be. But as we all come on here and we form our opinions, if Triple H had been running the show, maybe it would have been a little bit better, because there was some questions, some questionable booking last night, as you'll see in the report. Paul Heyman is considered one of the most respected names in the WWE locker room, and it's gotten to the point where not only are the workers watching his promos, but the producers are also glued to the monitors when he's in the ring. Heyman is on another level. The broken ribs suffered by Jamie Noble last night's Raw are legit and not part of a storyline, but anything is possible. WWE is crediting Brock Lesnar with causing the injury. Several fans in attendance last night noted that there was a lot of chaos at ringside that didn't make it onto TV. More than one WWE official threw up the X sign and approached and appeared to be genuinely concerned. There's been some fan speculation online that this could be an angle with Lesnar taking out the Authority leading up to his match with WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins at Battleground. There was numerous criticisms in regards to the booking at this week's Raw. The two biggest points emphasized was Dean Ambrose going under to Kane after the big push, and WWE World Champion Seth Rollins coming out after Brock Lesnar. The feeling coming out of this week's show, Raw, in general, was WWE was too preoccupied with tonight's premiere of Tough Enough to care too much about this week's Raw. And that's the thing. In the Attitude Era, there was competition. The WWE, you know, had to force the issue. They had to put out great content because they had to better themselves each and every week. Each week, Monday Night Raw was must-see TV. And now the WWE is just phoning it in. They're just going through the motions. They're in pilot mode, so to speak. And that's not the way Raw should be. And that's why I can't wait until Triple H takes over, because I do feel Triple H has the mind. He's got the age. He's got the history. You know, Triple H has got all the working points to make Raw must-see once again. And I think this drought that we're in, even though Lesnar was on the show last night, the show could have been a hell of a lot better from a booking standpoint. In my opinion, I didn't come on here and I didn't review Raw because I felt it wasn't necessary. I didn't feel it was worth reviewing Raw because there wasn't a hell of a lot to talk about. I kind of knew going in that Brock Lesnar, the numbers game was going to catch up to him. It's unfortunate that Jamie Noble got injured, but once again, you know, he stepped in for Seth Rollins. He did what he thought was best for business, and that's what he's going to do. Now, as it concerns the booking behind Raw, once again, it was piss poor, it was mediocre. This Monday Night Raw, you know, we got Battleground coming up, and I can see why the WWE is kind of being lackluster, because the pay-per-view isn't until another 3 weeks away. But had this been the Ruthless Aggression Era or the Attitude Era, the WWE would be upping the ante each and every week. But once again, Tough Enough's coming up. The WWE has a lot on the plate. They got their Tokyo, Japan event coming up. So once again, I can see where the WWE is coming from, but that doesn't give them an excuse to give us poor storylines going into a Battleground pay-per-view. Once again, I know the WWE probably doesn't see this pay-per-view as important, but with Brock Lesnar on it, you know, they probably think, oh, well, Brock Lesnar's going to be on the show, so that means more eyes on the prize. And, you know, we don't have to put a hell of a lot of build behind it, and we don't have to make the storylines credible. Well, that's not the way you should go about it, but it is what it is. Your comments, your opinions, subscribe.